Texas Small Farmers and Ranchers CBO.
Well, welcome everybody to our Soil to Profit meetup that we have. So thank you for joining us. It's kind of, as you see, a little bit different format than our normal knowledge forum. This is more of our cohort 1 and 2 meetup where we kind of powwow a little bit. And tonight we have something very special for you. Mr. Uriah Israel will be speaking on holistic goals. But as folks are trickling in, and we want to go ahead and say a quick prayer just to get things started off. So, dear Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this fellowship, for these group of farmers, Lord. And we just ask you to continue to guide us on this journey together. I want to say a special prayer, special blessing to our instructor tonight. Mr. Uriah Israel, allow him to lead and share through your power and your knowledge, Lord. We say this in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So, Uche, before we go further, if you don't mind sharing the community agreement.
Yes, sir. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. While we're all here, we always ask that everyone just follow a set of guidelines that we have. And I think it's always great that when we follow this, we all learn together. So the Soul to Profit Community Agreement is everyone has their own experiences and no one is an expert in everything. Let's co-learn with each other. Actively make room for everyone to speak and listen to understand. This is a judgment-free zone, and I mean it, it's a judgment-free zone. Assume that people have good intentions. Please ask questions when things are unclear because I know that I don't know everything. So if you ask a question, I also learn as well. And last but definitely not least, seek opportunities to genuinely lift each other up. That's our community agreements.
All right. I don't know. Are we starting off with the icebreaker? Or is that something we're doing later?
Oh, I got icebreakers for days,
Okay.
Phil. Whatever you want me to start off, I got you. I got
I don't know. I don't know. Let's leave the icebreakers. Let's hold off until the end because I know Uriah is anxious to kind of get stuff going. So um we'll hold that off to the end. And if we have some time towards the end, let's tee up those icebreakers because we always want to open it up and hear from everybody. So but what do you say, Uriah? You want to jump right in?
Uche, you have something that I gave you the other day. You gonna do this
Oh,
now?
oh.
Oh, there you go. All right. Okay. Thank you. Do you need me to start or what do you
Well, I'm gonna start with the first one.
Okay.
And Uriah has a special poll he would love everyone to answer, if you can. So I just launched it. So everyone, please share with each other or with us. Have you ever used a compass or map? I have. So I've gone camping, I've gone hiking where phones and GPS do not work. And
Mm.
we nearly got lost, but a compass was incredibly useful. So we have responses coming in. Everyone's saying yes. Everybody's saying yes, Phil. And right, everyone is saying yes. So everyone's saying yes, 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 yes. It's 100%.
Yes, I was gonna say that 100%.
Hmm.
100%. Wow, that's exceptional.
Yeah. Well, hey, now we are growers and we are ranchers over here. We know that we need to get around. We have to get around. But yes, we have 100% response is yes. Yes, everyone has used a compass or a map before.
Okay. All right. So I'm good to go.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Bam. Oh, there we go. Oops. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out this evening and being a part of this presentation, taking time out from your evening, from your dinner time, and whatever else you were doing. I also like to thank Texas Small Farmers and Ranchers for hosting this wonderful event. And so today we're going to be talking about your holistic goal, the North Star for decision making. That is so powerful. Um, the North Star for decision making. And this is really powerful because we're going through some changes in our nation. And earlier, we just had a poll question where everybody's very familiar with compasses and maps, right? I think there's another generation behind us who are not familiar with compasses or maps. Most cars today have a compass in it. You have GPS, you have cell phones. And so we kind of rely on these cell phones for guidance. And today, we have all kind of technology that can help us with guidance. But there was a time in the past where we were not allowed to read as a group of people in America, and we were looking for a better place, and we used the North Star for guidance. This is a time in our history where we were escaping and trying to figure out our way. And I can see our foreparents actually sitting around at night and practicing watching the North Star because they were going to make a move and they needed to know exactly what to follow. And so your North Star, your particular North Star, and as you can see in this picture, there's a lot of stars there, but your North Star is going to be your particular guide system, your reference point for getting where you need to go. And so this is so appropriate because, like I said, we're in a time, a lot of indecision, a lot of darkness, like which way what do we do? So your North Star is going to guide you to the life that you really want. Okay. All right. Here we go. What we will cover today. What is a goal, what a holistic goal is and why it matters. The three parts of a holistic goal and how to use your holistic goal to guide decisions. What is a holistic goal? And so a holistic goal is a written guide. And I want to stop there with that word written. That's a very important word. This is not something you have in your mind or you thought about something, you got this bright idea, but you don't have it written out. Neither do you have any other information about your goal. But so this is a written guide or a reference point to which you can refer when making decisions. It ties what you value and what you produce to the environment. And when I say environment, not just your land. Your land all starts, what you want to do with your land all starts here. It starts on a piece of paper that you wrote down. You might draw out a plan. You might make a diagram of what you want to do on your land. You studied your land. And so now you have particular values. Now you want to begin to produce something on your land. But this is written, and this is going to be your reference point. Okay. So once again, holistic goal is a written guide or reference point to which you can refer when making decisions. All right. Okay. With decisions about what? So everything that's under your management. So everything under your management, I have a bowl of fruit here just to illustrate that many of us have a lot of things that we manage. And so when you make this holistic goal, what exactly are you making the goal for? What decisions are you making? What's helping you? Um, what who makes the decisions, who might help make the decisions and who has veto power, who can say, nah, that ain't gonna work. I don't want to do that. What kind of resources do you have? What kind of equipment? Do you have a farm? Maybe something you need to get in the future. Do you have money and resources, IRA, retirement, different resources? So these are all things under your management. And so after you figure out and define exactly what you are managing, then everything goes into one big rowboat. That's just an illustration, but everything goes in one pot. Your decision makers, your resources, your farm, your land, your cars, your trucks, your equipment, everything, the economic whole under management. This is super duper important to actually put this down and say this is what we have as our economic whole under management. This is very important right here. Okay. And so everybody's in a rowboat. And so the decision makers, and if anybody's familiar with rowing as a sport, you know, they all work in sync. They're all together. They're focused on one task. That is the goal. That's the North Star. And so if somebody decides to row in the wrong direction, somebody could get hurt. You're not going to win the race. You might not, you will probably make it to your goal, but it'll probably get there a little bit later than what you expected. So it's very important that everybody's on the same page, everybody's in the same boat. We all in the same, we're all looking to get to the same goal, the North Star. All right. I love that analogy of the whole star. Okay. All right. So once you get everybody together, you and your other decision makers and your management, who are your management team, you begin to create where exactly do we want to go? What are we doing? And so in this illustration right here, everybody's focused on one thing. And so they're going to sit down together and they're going to write this goal out. And this is where your strength comes when everybody shares their ideas of where they want to go, what has to take place, how can they contribute, what are our resources, we're all talking. And so this is where the power comes. And when everybody is actually working, forming that holistic goal, very important. And I love this picture because in a tug of war, everybody's focused on one thing. Nobody's thinking, hey, let me make a text message. Hold up, let me do this. I got to tie my shoe. Everybody's ready to create that holistic goal. All right. And this is the real power, creating and forming your holistic goal. So once we we have everybody here, now we have to describe the life that you want to live based upon what you value. I remember as a child, I was with my mother and we were walking downtown in Boston, Massachusetts. And I said, Mom, I wonder if I can get a job at this place. It was a place that she didn't consider to meet our goals. And she said, no, you'll probably never work there because it did not meet or make the standard of life that she had in store for me. And that was very important. I'll never forget that when she said, no, I don't think you'll ever work there. There's a place in Boston downtown, and I'm not going to describe it, but it was unsavory. I'll put it like that. And so, describing the life you want to live based upon what you value. So this takes, you're going to sit there, you're going to brainstorm, you got a notebook, you got your pens and your paper. And so this is what you're going to do. And some people will have a hard time trying to do this because you have to think about your value system, things that are important to you, where you are in life, and so now you got to write this down. It can be pretty lengthy. I know that as a family unit, we've sat together, the five of us, and we, wrote down. It was amazing, like what different people in the household had describing what they described their life to be. And we all had the same values, but it was different things that they knew was important, that they thought was important. Okay. So your three parts, there are three parts of the holistic goal. And so the three-part holistic goal asks the decision makers to, Number one, describe the life we want to achieve. So we're all in this, we're pulling on this rope and we're going in the direction that we want to go. We've described, hey, we want to pull this rope back here. We're all into it. Everybody's ready to go. And so we're all pulling towards that goal, the description of life that we want to achieve. Everybody is focused on that. All right. Then number two, what must we produce to create that life? And so what will you produce on your land? If you what if you were a writer? What if you were an artist? What must you produce to create that land, that life? Also, like what about the money that comes in to help sustain, to help to produce the life that you want? Number three, what needs to be in place to sustain it far into the future? And I love the phrase far into the future because the future can be tomorrow evening, right? It could be next year, but we want it to be far into the future. You have land, you want to be a good steward of that location so that 100 years or many years from now, the land is better than the way that you got it, okay? And so what needs to be in place to sustain it far into the future? Um, so like your written goal will help you guide you to these places, okay? All right. The holistic goal must be written. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is a big thing. There was a time in our history where we were not even allowed to write. And so some people today, they're neither writing nor reading. They've gotten to this habit where, we're just not writing things down. And you must write your holistic goal down. I'm really into pen and paper. Writing things down actually causes your mind to work for you. And there's something called the reticular activating system, or ROS, and it's a bundle of nerves in your brain that filters out unnecessary information so that the important stuff gets through. If you want to buy, one of your holistic goals was to get a brand new truck, that you need to work your site, and you said, I want a Dodge Ram 5.7 Hemi to do this. Your Ross or your mind starts just like eliminating all of the cars. All you're going to begin to see are Dodge Rams, 1500s, 5.7 Hemis. And you have to be specific with your goals. The more specific you are, the more motivated you become. This increases the chance of you accomplishing your goals. Very important, writing things down. All right. 3 parts of your holistic goal. There are 3 parts of your holistic goal. You guys sat there and brainstormed, and these things reveal, after you ask all these questions, they reveal the quality of life you want to have. And I'm going to use a personal example of this. So the 3 parts, 3 parts of the holistic goal, then reveal quality of life you want to have, the behavior and systems that will help you produce it, a description of your vision for the future, or what the future must look like to support that quality of life you have articulated. But first, we're going to look at the quality of life. This is the first part of your holistic goal. And so the quality of life statements, how do you want your life to be? I have these pictures here because, you know, you want your family unit to be strong, to continue on some land. I love the picture on the left. They're sitting in land. We really thought that land was important right after emancipation. We all went and got our land because this is what we knew was the source of all wealth. And then today, we would like the families to continue and to be strong. This is very important. This is just an illustration. It gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling when I see this picture of many generations in one picture. Okay. So, example of a quality of life statement: to be engaged in meaningful work for the rest of our lives and to be excited and enthusiastic about what we have to do each day. This is what I like my life to be like. This is a quality of life statement. not just, this is just my personal quality of life statement. I want to be engaged in something I feel happy about when I wake up in the morning. I feel good about it. I'm not just, working and, doing something mundane, but this is just my personal goal. And so this is very important to me. All right. And so each one of you, while I talk, you can think about, what would I like my life to be? Maybe this is the reason why my boat is going around in circles. I might not have a quality of life statement written out. I might not have a holistic goal. And so, therefore, I keep doing the same thing over again, just going around in circles. Maybe somebody in my rowboat might not need to be in my rowboat. You know, this is very important. So you have to write it down. And this is just an example of my quality of life, this one quality of life statement. All right. The second part of the holistic goal is the behavior and systems that will help you produce it, that will help you produce what your quality of life is going to be, right? So, how do you need to behave to produce or create the quality of life? Okay, what do you need to do to create this? And this is a real tough one right here because we talk about behavior, and I really like to throw the word moral behavior in front of this, ethical behavior, because in order to, this image right, in order to shake hands with somebody, this means that you're going to be accountable and produce what you say you're going to do. Okay, you're going to have to stick to it. You're going to have to be committed to what you say you're going to do in order for your life to continue in the way that it should go. And so this is something that's I don't really think is taught. We're really not taught ethical behavior, moral behavior, but this is something that needs to take place. We do have to keep our word. And will you make mistakes? Yeah, you're gonna make mistakes. You might even put too much on your plate, but you still got your holistic goal written out on paper, and it can be your guideline. It's gonna still be in your brain. It's gonna be driving you crazy because it's written down, and your mind is saying, "Hey, we got to get somewhere." Okay. I do want to mention that even though we write down our quality of life, these things will change. You might get to a point and say, man, we might have to make some adjustments with this. We might have to change this because this is a little bit more complicated than what I thought, right? And so it's not written in stone, and you have the ability to make some adjustments as it goes on. I just want to make sure everybody understands that. Okay. All right. Okay. Behavior and systems produce profit from meaningful work. I kept it real simple. Produce profit from meaningful work. And I'm into teaching, demonstrating, showing and telling, showing people like what has to take place in order for, to grow. For me, um, writing books about agriculture, curriculum, tying our history together with the subject matter that we're talking about caused me to produce. I'm just going to hold this book up. I don't have a picture of it, but this is one of the books I produced. This was meaningful work for me. And it's called Let's Grow. And it was inspired by my father. And I love the fact that he was doing different things that was meaningful, and it fed right into me. He was a Boy Scout troop leader. He was a basketball coach, baseball coach, and he was always working with children because this was something that maybe he didn't get a chance to see, but he knew that it was important. He knew that these things had to be in place, and this was something that he produced profit from meaningful work, and he did really well in his life. And so I learned from watching him um, how to produce profit from meaningful work. I always love uh, uh, written publications. I've always been fascinated with the fact that people could write a book, put it together, print it, and then people would purchase that book. And this was something that was meaningful for me, and it produces profit for me. It has also opened doors. for relationships. And so this is in this illustration right here, this is just me with a child teaching the class at a woman's site in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we're still looking at the three parts. We just went over two. And so the last one is a description of your vision for the future, or what the future must look like to support that quality of life you have articulated. All right. Very important. Okay. So, excuse me. Let's go here. So sustaining, let me back up. Hold on for a second. So with your vision, how you have to behave is a description of how you must behave if the people in your asset base. Ooh, that's a word I didn't. Okay, so let's talk about your asset. I gotta back up because this is important. I mentioned this word asset base. So produce profit from meaningful work. So now you are a producer, and there are people that's going to look at you and actually depend on what you produce, whether it be some type of crop, whether it be some type of book, whether it be this knowledge form. People are going to look towards you for something every month. They're committed to seeing you. They know that you're committed to doing what you're going to do, and they know that your behavior. They know that you can be trusted, and so this is very important. And so your asset base is the people that help sustain your behavior. They help sustain your vision, and so you have to have a certain type of behavior to make sure they keep coming back, to make sure that you are still producing, that they will want to come back. If you slip up one day and just have a bunch of excuses, they might not want to, they might let you slide once or twice, but over time, they're not going to want to support you anymore. You're going to start losing some of your asset base. All right. There's another question here, and how do you want to be perceived? Okay, somebody needs to mute this. But how do you want to be perceived? When I speak to my children, I always say to them, when people say your name, what do they think about? What's the image that comes to their mind when they say your name? Is it a good thing? Do people look at you as somebody tried and true, or are you a bum? Do people not like hearing? They don't want nothing to do with you, and so you have to. And if your life is that way, you have some work to do. And you have to manage your image and create the image that you want people to see. What do they perceive? What's the image? What do you look like in the eyes of other people? This is very important. Okay. All right. All right. So also behavior and systems. What do you want? How do you want your land or your assets or your asset base 100 years from now? What must you make? What decisions must you make so that will help lead you in the proper direction? So these are all part of your behavior and systems. You just can't do whatever you want in order to get the desired results that you need. So you have to be careful and make sure that your holistic goal and your behaviors are linked up with your values, so that your land, your asset base, everything that you have is going in the right direction. Very important. Okay, here we go back to vision. A description of your vision for the future, or what your future must look like to support the quality of life you have articulated. Okay? And the future community is a description of your community as it must be to sustain your quality of life well into the future. And so, well, let's go. Whoops. Sustaining what you produce far into the future. So this is your asset base. You have your land, you have some money, you have tools, and also there are going to be people that support you. And so you have to really write this out, your future community, and make sure that, in order to do this, you must have the proper behavior to sustain this into the future. Your vision statement has three different parts, three primary elements. Number one is how you have to behave. Number two is the future landscape. Number three is the future community. I want to talk about this for a second because we're looking at a time right now in our history. The future looks kind of grim, right? And we don't know what's going to happen. So, you really have to really look at these elements and say, what do I want? Now, many of us, this is Texas Small Farmers and Ranchers Community-Based Organization. Many of us here are into growing food, we're into ranching, and you have to create the landscape. You have to create the asset base, the landscape that will help set you on the direction you want to go. Is your land set up the way so that you can produce what you need to produce? And or is it not? Are you I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna give you a history lesson. So in the early 1900s, so they were growing all of this cotton, and the cotton was actually depleting the soil of minerals. And so they thought that this cash crop would be great for the future, but it was actually destroying it. And so here comes, we have one of our forefathers, George Washington Carver, shows up and he says, we got to change this behavior because the landscape you're going to destroy, not just the physical landscape, but everybody's going to be broke and poor. Okay, because the land, the crop that you're trying to grow every single season for miles and miles is depleting the soil. And this was very damaging to the South. And George Washington Carver introduced several different crops, peanuts, um, was it sweet potatoes, and what else? He had other legumes that helped feed the soil. And so he helped amend and change the future community that was going in a direction that they should not have gone in. That's just one example. And so in your life, you have to look at yourself and say, am I going in the right direction? Financially, my family, my community, the homestead that I'm on. And so these are things that we have to consider. How you have to behave, I'm just going to go over them real quick. A description of how you must behave if the people in your asset base are to continue to support you. How do you want to be perceived? I just went over that. So very, very important that people see you. Your image is shiny, spotless. Good name is better to have, right? Than wealth. So your good name is very important. The future landscape, how the land in your asset base must function 100 years from now. You must make decisions today that lead you in the right direction. That lead you in the right direction. Um, Number three is the future community, a description of your community as it must be to sustain your quality of life well into the future. And man, I'm all into what's it called? Intergenerational wealth, but I also into the transfer of land and properly managing it and knowing what you must do to sustain your quality of life on your land if you have land. Even if it's just a small plot, what do you need to do to sustain the quality of life well into your future? Super important. All right, boom. Your vision statement connects the short and medium-term considerations of the holistic goal with your long-term future aspects. Now this is a picture of my father here in Boston, Massachusetts, harvesting apples, and I'm not sure if he had a written goal. I'm not sure if he had a written vision statement or a goal, but he definitely inspired me to want to grow. And this in turn caused me to want to teach my children to grow. So we have a picture of my father. My father was a sharecropper in Ottawa, Tennessee, and one of his goals was to own land back in the South. He wanted to go back down south, but he did not get a chance to realize that goal. But this was something that I knew that he wanted to do, and it caused me to create a holistic goal that would include owning land. And so, also on the right hand picture is a picture of my daughter, and we're working at a site in Atlanta, Georgia, and she's helping me water the greenhouse. And so, like all I'm what I'm showing here is that the tie-in of the short, medium, and long-term future aspects and how everything kind of ties together. And so his vision was not written down. He never said, "Boy, go get some land." I knew how special it was to him and to my foreparents, and so therefore it drove me. And then my children today, they really understand the value of having land. All right, and it tied the short and medium term considerations with the long term future aspects. Okay, so all three elements written in the correct order, your quality of life, your systems and behaviors, and your vision statements and provide you and your management team with the foundation and direction that you want to go. And so here we have three or four guys all working on the same project. And so, they're putting down a foundation. And so this is what we want to have. This will help put you in the right direction that you want to go in, and super important that you do this. I think, Uche, do you have another question right here? Whole
Yes,
question, sir?
yes,
Okay.
sir. I do. I do. All right. Attendees, I have another question coming your way. And the question is, do you write your goals with your family? I believe, is that the one? Yes.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right. We have people answering. We have people answering. We got 15 attendees, so I'd love for everyone, at least most of y'all, to respond. I think it'd be great to learn. Okay, okay. We have 30 seconds in. We have 11 responses. So I think we have 11 of 13 responses. That's okay. If you don't want to respond, that's all right. Well, I can definitely share with everyone. 36% of everyone that responded said yes, and 64% said no. So not
Mm,
all of us have a shared farm plan or goal with our family. And I agree. I'm in the same boat. I don't have one with my family.
mm,
Um, we might, say this is what we plan on doing, but
hmm
in terms of like long-term goals, that is not existent. So I agree.
mm.
I'm gonna
That's very interesting. But I understand. There are some people like, who I have not shared and they are family. But like as far as my immediate family, we do sit down and we discuss quality of life, system and behaviors and and then vision statements. And then when we get outside of the way we should behave, we check each other too. That wasn't, we'll have no problem saying, you know, we're a little bit outside of what we're doing, and we got to get back in bounds in order to reach this goal. So I think Uche, you said you have your hand raised up, Uche?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mate Garner actually put in the chat and he said, not my blood family. They
Mm.
declined the offer. New family has the same goals already. That's what makes them kinfolk.
Uh-oh, I love it. Hey, look, I love the fact that you said it like that because sometimes you can't, some people will not necessarily support your holistic goal. They still, they want to hang on to their certain ways. They don't want to change their behaviors. They might not agree with the way you want to take Mama and them's farm and work it. They have another way that they want to do. And you're like, hey, nah, that's not correct. I'm not teaching my children this. I want a different quality of life. And your vision just doesn't line up with mine. And you would be smart not to share your vision with people like that. I agree with you. Thank you, Uche, for sharing that. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. This blew my mind. I did not expect this, but it says only 2 out of 10 people set goals for themselves. And this is coming from reliableplanet.com. And I was amazed. But it seems like everybody. Uche, do you have one more one more poll question? Do you?
Yes, sir, I do. I do have another poll question that I'll be launching right now.
Okay.
Okay, attendees, here's the question. Do you write your goals? So we have people responding. We have three, four, five, six, seven, eight. All right, 9, 10, 11, 12. You know what my answer will be to this question?
What's that?
It would be no. I don't write mine. I type mine. I'm so so my phone, I use my notes app and on my phone, and that I usually type in my goals on there. Although I have a pen and paper, it's just I'm so used to it that I need to read it at night when I'm opening it up because my lights are off and I can't like turn on a lamp or something and disturb my wife and she'll be like, "What's wrong with you? Don't bother me." So that's how I write my goals on there. Um, but we do have some responses here. 91% said yes, 9% said no. So there are people that haven't written their goals, which is perfectly fine. Which is perfectly fine. Um, and someone did Antonetta put in the chat. The best question is, do I keep to the goals I set? Ooh, true words.
Whoa.
Truer
No,
words have never been said.
Uche, I do want to say this. I told you guys earlier in the presentation about the power of literally writing with your hand things down. I sleep with a pad and paper right beside me, a pad of paper and a pen or a pencil. And I get the most fantastic ideas right when I'm about to go to sleep. And they don't stay with you. So if you don't write it down really quickly, you know, and my wife, yeah,
That's true.
she will say, hey, what are you doing? Where you going? I gotta write this down. Matter of fact, I need to look something up real quick. I'm like that. I'm kind of fanatical. And so I will get up, write something down, and wow, and I just blow my mind. And so I do think that there's something special about writing things down by hand, not on your phone. Your phone is typing is different than writing. Um, your brain is just like activated when when you write stuff down. You try it and you'll see. I mean, Uche.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. I do agree.
Okay.
Like I said, I do have my notebook. It's just like you said, my idea is the same way when I'm in bed. Um, is just I guess the phone became a convenience for me because I
Yeah.
can easily just pick it up and type right into my phone and not worry about anything. Just type it in and I'm good to go. So that was kind of like why I got so used to typing on my phone. But no, I have a plethora of notebooks. I have even one that talks about that helps me write goals each day. It actually has prompts to help me write a goal each day. A notebook just
Wow.
specifically for that, which I do use. But like you said, at night my ideas flourish. I don't have the opportunity to I can turn on the lamp. I just don't want to be kicked out of the bedroom for turning on the light. Right? So I try to adjust according to my partner and her needs as well. But I do write on my phone, which is still good. I read my notes all the time. I'm always looking at my notes, which is always a convenience for sure.
I do. And thanks for sharing that, Uche. And the lady that said, "Are we keeping to our goals?" I just want to read something. I have notes here, and I thought I was going to be able to look at the notes while I was doing the presentation, and so I have them on paper. And this is one thing I have to mention. It says what you value, what you're doing, what you're about, and what you want to ultimately be. After you do all this, remember this is a temporary holistic goal. Why? Because your holistic goal is a living, dynamic, and practical document that grows as you grow and changes as you and the whole changes. So, like, sometimes we might not accomplish something that we wrote down because it just might not, you might realize it might be unrealistic. might not be a good fit anymore. And but now you know it because you have a little bit more experience. And so, and you might not have done enough research to say this is a good goal, and so like goals do change. Goals do change. I bear witness to that. Uche, I'm like you. I have a ton of notebooks, all kind of ideas. I have movie scripts, poster ideas, book ideas, and this life keeps life in. And like you have to keep, you still have to sustain yourself, right? And so like sometimes those ideas might get pushed a little bit in the back. And so, yeah. But your goals is a dynamic living document and they will change. They will change. All right, let's continue here. Okay. Okay. So today we covered what a holistic goal is and why it matters. We looked at the three parts of a holistic goal, how to use your holistic goal to guide your decisions. Now it's your turn. Use what you have learned to create your own holistic goal. Once again, this is the nighttime, right? And wow, nighttime is a good allegory because we're in a period looking kind of dark. We got all kind of little issues going on, but you have your North Star that's going to help guide you into where you want to go. Somewhere that is what you want to see your life be, you and your children. And so once again, the night sky is full of stars, but your North Star is going to guide you. That's your reference, that's your guide. Now you have to learn, you have to write your own holistic goal. And let's see here. Uh, your next step is to create your own holistic goal. And then, of course, I have questions. Any questions or comments?
Hey, what's going on, Uriah? Excellent job, man. No, I agree. I think it's eye-opening, um, especially when it comes to family, how
Mm,
often, I know I do it too. I agree with you, Uche. A lot of times I just run out, create the plan, and go, and if you're in, great, and if you're not in, but there's so many different stakeholders, that
mm,
I find myself circling back to and trying to get buy-in, after I've already ran down a different road. So,
mm.
um, thank you for sharing that. That kind of hit me bullseye between the eyes there.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, yeah. Woo, that's deep. That's deep. And I think sometimes I'm not saying some people suffer from approval syndrome. And then they got analysis paralysis, where you get so much information and you're looking for people to say, yeah, that's a good idea. And next thing you know, you're not doing anything. And you look back as several years have passed and you have not met your goals. And so, and you knew it was something reachable, something that you could do, and it would have made you a better person, better situation. Okay. All right. Any other comments?
We do have some comments that were in the chat.
Hmm.
Um, I hope I don't butcher this person's name, but Acacia or Asasia, I'm not trying to butcher. I'm sorry. Says so true, and I never remembered the next morning. I believe they're referring to when you write your goals and you don't remember the next morning or you don't write it down on time. We have all experienced the same thing. And Antonetta shared as a follow-up, she said, agreed, and thank you for wisdom. A holistic SMART goal are
Mm,
good. Specific, measured, attainable, realistic, and timely, she said, and a timely manner. So yes, SMART goals, SMART.
mm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Chat, if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Raya's going to stop sharing in a second. And if you have questions about holistic goals and how you can implement a holistic goal within your farm or ranch, this is your opportunity to ask. We have Uriah here and we have Phil here. And if you even want to talk about how you can implement a marketing goal into your farm or ranch, I am here as well. I can respond to that. So this is your opportunity to ask those questions that you've been bugging, you've been thinking about. And like we said in our community info, there is no question that is too small to ask or too big to ask, because if I don't have an answer, I'm going to find out. So please feel free to drop it in the chat. Okay. Oof, silence. Ryan, do you want
Yeah.
to?
Uh,
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is Terry Jackson, Conjac Farms here in Quitman, Texas.
Hey, Terry, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm trying to learn this phone too. I just happen to hit something and then I get you all, but that's all good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I want to thank Mr. Israel on his presentation. I'm an old school guy. I write stuff down all the time, but don't get discouraged when you do write it down. When it don't come within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There was a plan on this house that I'm living in, my father-in-law's house, that I was looking at some sheets of paper where I wrote down the measurements and the windows and what I need and the installation. I got it all written down. I got the square footage and all of that. Now we moved here in 2014, and here it is 11 years later. I'm just not getting to the holistic goal there, but I made it. so,
Mhm.
so stay encouraged
Mm.
and continue the dream and live that dream, and be encouraged and stay encouraged and continue to be excited. Even if someone, if someone don't believe in you or they just brush it off to the side, still hold that goal up high, because I remember starting out with one cow. I remember struggling, and all of a sudden this year, man, I made over $34,000 in the sale of cattle. That's a big goal for me, real big goal. And I'm
Mm,
looking to go even higher. I set a goal of 10,000 pounds, but I came up two calves short. I ended up coming up with 9,160 pounds of beef. But my
Mm.
goal is to hit 10,000 pounds of beef, and that is what I'm working on. And if the cattle market stays strong like it is, I'm hoping to clear over 40 grand. So those are just some of my goals, and appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
wow, Terry, thank you so much. That is a goal right there, and that is something that I'm looking forward to being a part of. Terry, if you're trying to sell a cow, let me know. I'll love to be at least purchase a quarter. I know cows is expensive. I don't want the whole cow. I ain't got enough fridge space for a whole cow, but I'll take some beef. But yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned writing all the dimensions down for what you were going to create, because that's something, that's part of a goal, and writing down your vision is like drawing diagrams. Many times I have like bunch of diagrams, like I'm going to build this, I'm going to put this here, these are dimensions, this is the type of wood I need. And so all that stuff is very important. And thank you for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Lyndon put in the chat. We have a few comments in the chat. The chat is buzzing. Phil's in the chat going sharing. He said one, quality of life, two, behaviors and systems to based on quality of life you seek. And John Sewing said, and we can use our technology to help aid us something sometimes as single as voice recording. Yes, I
Mm.
I am a voice recording kind of person. I use my voice recording all the time, and they actually some of them transcribe that voice now, so it can become notes, which is convenient. So John, yes, thank you for the reminder. Um, Phil mentioned a third point, your vision for the future based on your intended quality of life and your behavior and systems you implement. And Linda, she mentioned, and I guess this is directed to us, Terry, the cattle market is pretty dang good right now. Ooh.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. So if anyone else, please feel free to ask questions. I do have a very fun closing, closing question for every single person, and I want everyone to interact. Now, here's the deal for the closing question, y'all. I would like the question. I want to first say the question, but do not press send. You're going to type it into the chat box first. And don't press send. We're all going to press send at the same time. And that's the thing. So I want 100% participation. And this is the question, but don't press send yes. Just type it in. The question is, what's one step you take this week towards your holistic goals? Very easy question. What is one step? I know what one step I'll start doing. Let me write mine down. And I'm not going to press send yet. Do not press send yet. Don't press send. And if you want to turn on your video, that's fine. Or you can just indicate with your voice that you have put the information in the chat. But at some point, I am going to count down in three, two, one, and we're going to do it. So is everyone ready? Did everyone put it in their chat box yet?
Nope. Hold
Oh,
on.
all right, take it. I'm patient. I'm patient. I'm patient. And the question is, what's one step you take this week towards your holistic goal? Okay, Antoinette has put it in the chat box. Great. You feel free to give me a thumbs up if you have already, if you've not, or if you just turn on mute yourself and share. All right, MT said he has. All right, everyone is getting ready. We're gearing up. We're gearing up. All right, Nicholas said yes. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, feel free to give me a thumbs up if you have yours in chat. I have mine in my chat, so I'm ready to go. All right, Tiffany says she's ready. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm waiting till we have a good number of people on here. Feel free to share your one one this week. What's one step? Just a small step. It doesn't have to be Dana. Thank you so much. Dana has written in her chat. Just one step you're going to take this week. Akasia, please, you need to correct me if I'm butchering your name. I do apologize, Akasia. So please let us know what's one step. Is everybody ready? I've gotten a few thumbs up already. Linda is ready. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Terry, checking in with you if you're ready.
I'm ready. I just need to know what button to hit.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Don't press the button yet. When you figure it out, don't press the button
Okay.
yet. It's
No,
gonna be
I hadn't done anything.
okay. Yes, sir. Oh, someone put be consistent. No, not yet. Not yet. Okay. All right. I'm gonna count down from three, two, one. And when I say one, I want everyone to press send. So three, two, one, send. Now share your comments. Ooh, look at that flood. Look at that flood come in. Okay, okay. All right, let me start from the top. Let me share. Ooh, more people. Everyone's saying, everyone's all right, all right, all right. All right. Here's one step some folks are gonna take. Akasia says, write down my goals every night before bed. Yes, yes. Yep, that's right. Nicholas said, getting books on soil and regenerative ag and write my goals down again fresh. I love that. I love that. Raya said, family meeting on Wednesday. Hey, that's right. That's right. It's important. Tiffany says, write it down and align some small wins that will support the goal. Yes, yes. Antonetta says, write down what I actually want what I actually want out of life based on my values and family goals. I love that. I love that, Trinetta. I said I'll start writing with the pen and paper because, hey, you know what? You're right, Ryan. I need to write it down so I can commit to it. Pen and paper is definitely different. So that's what I will start doing this week. Dana says, check the calves to make sure they are healthy and doing well. Yes, yes, love that. Um, Someone said with iPhone, I don't know who this is, but I started moving around the farm this week. Love that. Yes.
Mowing
MT
around the farm. That was me.
mowing. Oh, mowing
Mowing.
around the farm. I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses off.
144 acres I got to mow.
44 acres. Oh my. That's
Just around the outer edges, that's all.
oh, hey, that's okay.
Fence line, fence line.
That that's a lot still. That's a lot too. MT said right goals. Yes, yes. Linda said, I'm going to revisit my goal to make sure it's still relevant. I have had some changes. Yes, we all have changes every week. And John said, spread love.
Yeah,
Mm. Yes,
I
that's
like
amazing.
that.
Yes, I love that too. Thank you, John, for rounding it all in. He helped us round it all in together.
Yeah,
Right.
let me put a twist on that. It's honor God, spread joy, and build people.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, yeah. That I mean that was our closeout. Phil, do you
Hey,
have any words?
Uche, can I
Yes,
can
sir.
I add something real quick?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please, please
So
do.
so I think it's important, and Uriah, you correct me if I'm wrong. This is your presentation, but the key is the word in here, holistic. That means it encompasses your entire life. And I think sometimes when we hear goals, we're thinking like a New Year's resolution or something. That's not what this is. What we're doing, there's three parts to a holistic goal. And that's what Uriah shared. And it makes up the whole of your goal. And it's what makes it sustainable is quality of life. You don't just stop there. That's where you start. That's number one. Number two, what are those behaviors and systems and habits that you're going to need to incorporate into to get the quality of life you want? And then three, based on those things, what is your vision for the future? What should that look like for you? What should your life look like? Because I think Uriah talked about it earlier when he was talking about the type of car and being specific. That's where that falls in line. But to really make this thing work, this is different than a normal goal setting or, hey, what do you want to do? We want to see y'all win. That's why we're having this webinar, and it all goes together. If you just have one thing you're going to do, you might accomplish that, but we want to see you win in the long run and your families win. And that means doing it holistically with those three parts that I put in the chat. They all go together hand in hand. They're not separate. And that's really, I think, what Uriah wanted you to get overall is that these things tie together. There's a difference between a goal and a holistic goal. A
Thank
holistic goal means lifestyle, everything. I think somebody's trying to come in, so I'll stop there. I just wanted to hit that
Hey,
one
hey,
more
thank,
time.
and thanks, Phil, for clearing that up because I think we were kind of going down hopping down the goal trail. But this is a holistic goal, and you're absolutely correct. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Agreed. I love everything you did today. That was powerful. I love how you set in place systems, systems and behaviors, and just helping us to look at it from a complete view with the stakeholders. And, I'm just over here thinking of like a scrum meeting. But I did want to ask you about your book. How could we purchase your book? Do you have like a link or something you can put in
Yeah,
the chat?
I'll put that in the chat once I find it.
Yeah, for y'all who don't know, Uriah is an author and he's a publisher. Um, I know his target market when he wrote those were children, but also um, he also serves elderly as well. Goes to different retirement homes, but it serves all of us. The information I read it. I got both those books, both those workbooks, so they apply to all of us. Good stuff.
See, hold on. Where is it? What do you want? I'm looking for the link, y'all. Hold on.
And Uche, let's talk about getting that on our webpage too.
Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna create a bookstore. I know you got one of our t-shirts on there too.
Oh yeah. Just if everyone wants to know, this is the new t-shirt. I'm gonna stand up. It's just gonna be gray. So it's gonna be a gray variation of the black.
What what's on the back? What's on the back?
Oh, want to make sure y'all can see.
No farmers, no food.
No farmers, no food. No farmers, no food. So that is our new t-shirt. You all will be getting a next in person, our cohorts, because y'all deserve that. For your hard work and how much you've worked hard, y'all deserve that all the way. So yes. I think I found it.
I think Uche, our work here is done. Do we got some more comments? Other than that, we can. I think we.
Um, I don't see any more comments. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop. Oh, John said, no, John had a question. What's the name? Oh, Mr. Terry, this is directed to you. What's the name of Mr. Terry's farm and where is he located?
Oh, I just sent that. I'm located 40 miles north of Tyler, Texas, and about an hour and 45 minutes from Dallas east.
Yes, sir.
I'm in
Yes, sir.
Quitman, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Quentin, Texas. John, I hope you got that.
Quitman,
Quitman.
Quitman. I texted. Oh, hold on. I guess it didn't go nowhere.
That's all right. That's all right. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
there it
there
go.
it
There
is.
it go.
There it is.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Brother Terry, he's been with us. He's been with our organization for years and years and years. My parents, I thought they'd be on here, um, but we're just so grateful to have him as a consistent member. And what we're going to do too, if you can, Uche, because I know we have some folks on here who this may be their first time. We invited them to kind of just be a fly on the wall. If you can share how they can engage, we've kind of slowed things down a bit because of some of the stuff that's happening in Washington, D.C. So for some of you who think we've disappeared, no, we're here. We just kind of have to do the two-step with Washington, D.C. and some of the stuff that's going on there. But we're keeping this thing going. So I want Uche, if you can, just share with them how they can stay engaged with us moving forward. We are building out, because we know Texas is a big place. We're building out certain mechanisms to make sure that we can do some on-demand stuff too, because we understand that, some of you, if we're doing something and San Marcos and you live in Texarkana, it might not work for you. So we're putting other things in place, but I'm gonna be quiet here and let Uche kind of share some of the things that will allow you to stay engaged um, weekly and monthly with some of the stuff that we're doing.
Yes, thank you, Phil, for that. Yes, so everyone, we're very excited. In the next couple of months, we'll be launching an on-demand classroom for all of you to participate in, and it to be very, very engaging, dynamic, and it's actually gamified. And the idea is that, like Phil was mentioning, it'll be on demand and give you the ability to learn new skills and also participate in some of our workshops that we do because we understand that you might be far away. Sometimes we have stuff in Dallas, some in San Marcos, and we're even looking to do some events in Houston. But if you're far away from any of those geographical locations, we understand that distance that can be definitely hard, especially when we're pulling you away from your own farms, especially now that we're going to growing season in the cooler months. So we're going to be launching this on-demand platform. You all will receive a complimentary code to access it, and it'll be unique to you as an individual, where you can gain access to some of the knowledge bases, some of the insights, as well as we will also be we are creating a new system. I don't want to jump the gun on it, but an opportunity for you to start also selling your goods. I know Phil has been sharing this for quite a while, but in the back end, we've been working hard to put together some of a system in place whereby you as a grower, you as a producer will have the ability to sell your goods, whatever it might be, whatever it's produce, whether if it's livestock, to a variety of buyers who are willing to actually purchase that. So that's also another exciting thing coming up. So please stay engaged. I know I send a lot of emails. Please stay engaged that way. Feel free to reach out on social media through our Instagram, Facebook. We're always there. We even have a group on Facebook as well. If you like an invite, I will also be sending that as well with the recording of this and a follow-up email if you would like to be engaged in that process as well. But as we always say here, be the exception. We're working hard in the background to ensure that you all are getting the best knowledge that we can offer. So we're very excited for some of it coming up.
All right, bro. I think that should do it. We got any more? You got anything else you see out there we didn't hit?
I just one thing. Uriah did share the link on here, so folks, please visit that link. And Akasha is actually Amy. I am
Okay.
so sorry, Amy. She said her daughter logged into her computer and it's her name featured. I understand. I'm there all the time, so. Definitely understand, Amy. Thank you so much for being here, Amy. It's a pleasure to have you for sure. It's a pleasure to have you. So yeah, I think that's. Oh, Nicholas said, "How can I help on the tech side? Time permitting." Okay, Nicholas. Shoot me an email, Nicholas. We'd love to chat. We'd love to chat. Um, I do all things tech, and so please let me know what you like to help with. We're open to any help, and yeah, we have a lot going on as an organization, so we're constantly expanding, moving things a lot more digital now to accommodate everyone. So if there's any way that we can make it easier for our growers and our producers, we would love to make that happen for them. So yeah. Okay. Akasha like the voting. Okay, okay. All right, I think that's it. I don't see any other questions. Yeah, Linda says thank you. Thank you
All
all,
right.
everyone.
Well, Uriah, man, thank you so much for sharing that knowledge, bro. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us tonight. We will be, if you did register, then that means you'll most likely get a recording of this as well. Always good to go back, rewatch it the second time because you always catch nice little nuggets that you might have missed that first time. And I think that does it. Until next time, like we always say, be the exception. Y'all take care. Thanks so much, Uriah.
Thank you.
Bye now, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.